good location for upperclassmen.
Okay. Short walk to Hoboken, short walk to campus makes sense. Is that the general consent? Were there any other like fringe factors that you guys picked where you want to live? Anything like that?
Location in Hoboken, just like I know that I didn't want to be really past Park or like Willow. Like, that was as far back as I wanted to go, and like that was a huge thing. But also, just like equal or less to the price I was paying, so that worked out.
Okay. And for you, part of it was meal plan as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything or just
Just
guys
getting what
also?
I paid for. I think before we made the choice to go all the way out to Madison, we had been to like some of the different SLH areas, and we wanted to get like, even if they were all in relatively the same ballpark price range, we wanted like the best bang for our buck, effectively. So we decided that Madison was just like the way to go in retrospect to like where we wanted to be, where our friends were, like location, like food stores and whatnot.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned you're
Yeah.
like 9 seconds away from ShopRite,
Exactly.
which did I assume also factored into your decision.
Definitely, yeah.
Works out. Awesome. So definitely throughout this focus group so far, we've all sort of had issues with Stevens housing and related services. So this next question is sort of related to how to fix it. I guess related to current things on campus and if they'll fix it. Do you think the new buildings, the 2 skyscrapers, I can't think of what they're actually going to be called, will help improve on issues you noticed while you lived in Stevens dorms, or do you think it's deeper than just a new building?
I feel like the issues that we had in the dorms was because they were old. Like, I remember, like, the showers, they got brand new ones when we left, like, sophomore year. But also, like, they had to they had to pull up all the carpets and replace the floor because it was rotted. And, like, that's why the hallways were new.
Okay.
So, it's just, I feel like it's an old building, and that was, like, one of the main problems. But I think the towers, like, they're going to be a lot nicer, and they're probably going to have, like, more technology built in, and like if they're like the floor plan, I feel like it's gonna be like smarter, hopefully, for that like incoming freshmen or whoever's living in it. But yeah, it's just
So you think it'll fix like some of the issues?
some of the issues that are like, the problem of the place you're living.
related to buildings rather
Yeah.
than administration.
Yeah.
But with like the other things like work orders and other problems, you don't think this will be
No.
any help? You don't think it? Okay.
I feel
Yeah,
like it's
if they
gonna be
have-
more people.
Yeah, if they get new people, depends on the people, I guess.
Fair enough.
I think it's going to make it worse.
I'd love to
It's
hear
gonna
that.
add
I think
fuel
they're
to the fire.
addressing the symptoms of the problem and not actually fixing it. Like, it's great that there's going to be a new building, but stuff is going to break eventually. Like, there's only going to be more people now. Like, it's already understaffed and under-addressed. Like,
Yeah, they need to have more people to fix things.
Yeah.
Or just better.
or
both.
prioritize it more.
Absolutely.
Because if there's less things to fix, also, like, it makes an easier time for the people that they have working. But if they need more people to fix things, they need
And
to
more
hire
things to
more
fix,
people.
right?
Yeah.
And the towers too, it's supposed to be like a lot taller, so I'm guessing there's gonna be like elevators in both of the buildings. If you're on like, I don't know how many floors there are, but like say you're on like the 7th, 8th floor and like the elevator breaks and like
There's
You have
24, I think.
floors,
So it was
21
19 and
you're
Oh,
on
19.
you're on the 20th floor and the elevator breaks and you have to go to class or you have to do your laundry, like we know our academic buildings, the elevators break down like all the time. Like McLean, I'm on like the Richard 5th floor, and like the elevator breaks all the time. Like I feel like if they're gonna be new, but then once they start breaking again, it's just gonna be another thing that they're not gonna fix.
The other thing though with the towers that I want to bring up is like what kind of issues they're creating for like everybody else though who's not living in them, because I already heard
Do
crazy
you
stuff
mean
like
right now or
well, I mean right now, but also kind of like possibly in the future, because I know right now it's sort of like messing up the housing market in Hoboken a little bit. Like they're taking in all these freshmen and whatnot, and then they're displacing a bunch of people on campus. Like I had kids tell me that they were signed up for leased housing, and then they got moved to the waiting list after they were like good after putting their deposit down because of all the influx of new people and whatnot. So towers are like sort of working out, but it sort of also incentivizes Stevens to continue like hopefully it fixes the problem with the dorms, and hopefully upperclassmen will get back on campus and SLH and everything will be sorted. But
Okay.
It's also hard because the realtors don't want to rent apartments to students. So, like, it made it that much harder to find a place to live because people were like, oh, you're college students, your name's, like, either on the lease or it's not on the lease, like, then they, like, won't do it.
So all in all, we think fixes more problems than it solves, or creates more problems than it solves. I'm sorry. Solves more problems than it creates, or creates more problems than it solves.
Who thinks it's gonna solve more problems than
Creates.
so it's 2?
And would that mean the other 7 of you think it's going to create more problems than it fixes?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, actually, that's a really good lead into the next question we had, which was if you're still, let's say, you all go to school here another year. I know some of you are graduating, but let's say you all go to school here another year. The towers are done, and you were given the option to live in the towers or where you are now. Do you think you would chance the towers, or is SLH for some of you or fraternity housing that much better? You can consider it.
I mean, if it's cheaper, yeah, probably no.
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
So price is truly like your greatest consideration.
Yeah, I mean, if it's back to if it's half price again, and I don't have to get a $3,000 meal plan, then yeah. Or like if I have access to a kitchen, sure, why not?
I think
No,
for the fact that you'd still be under, like, after leaving the RA, like, situation and going back to it, even just simple things of, I can't have more than 3 other people in my room, like, I'm not going to want that again.
Fair enough. Okay, so freedom is a big. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a huge factor.
Very
just having
important.
like
Okay.
just no rules.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anarchy. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're sort of slowly reaching our mark here. We have a few questions left. So now looking back on it, knowing what you know now about Stevens dorms, Stevens leased housing, off-campus housing, knowing what you know now about housing, would you have outright made the same housing decisions you made your years so far? Like, if you were given the option, would you still have lived on campus at all? Would you have like tried to find an apartment or tried to get anywhere else? Whether that be freshman year, sophomore year, junior year.
I actually had a lot of people freshman year that I knew that came in as freshmen and just bought an apartment in Hoboken and said they commuted. And I think knowing that now, I probably would have done that.
You would have done
That's
Or
crazy.
if we were able to live in
So, like,
SLH.
Would you have done that knowing what you know now about Davis having lived there?
I mean, if I was given the option to not, I probably wouldn't have lived in there. But if they're still forcing freshmen to live on campus in dorms, then I think I'd be fine with it. I wouldn't want to commute.
Well, I just meant knowing the loophole that.
Yeah,
Oh.
just so like you just move into Hoboken and sign up as a commuter,
Yeah, if I could find a place.
which is great too because you get priority on classes.
Oh my, that actually is the biggest
Okay,
one.
yeah,
Well,
that's a check mark for me.
And a $15 parking pass for the year instead of $300 for the semester.
Hold on.
Wait.
What are
I
we
pay
on?
I'm here and I pay on pass.
If you're a resident in Hoboken,
Oh, resident. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
Okay.
like that's like
that's
I
what-
thought you meant commuter, and I thought I was
No.
getting gypped for 4
Well, I
years.
mean,
All right.
Wait,
Well,
if
Stevens
the resident
is
thing
getting
doesn't your name
sued,
have to
so
be on the apartment?
it's a bit iffy.
Well, you bought the apartment.
Stevens
and
is getting
one of
sued
my
for
brothers had. He
Stevens
changed his
is
license.
suing
I feel like your name would have to be on the
But
apartment
Hoboken is
and
like
the car in order
counter-suing
to
them,
do it.
so.
Yeah, there's a whole legal
There's
action.
other
Yeah.
stuff, but yeah.
It's a wonderful conversation, but not one that
Other
I don't
tropes.
think is necessarily in the scope of our focus group.
I also want to point out, like, freshman year is, like, such an experience. Like, being in a dorm is, like, part of the college
Yeah.
experience. So, like, personally, I would still be in a dorm just because, like, I don't know, like, I ended up, like, becoming friends with people who, like, I lived next door with and stuff. Like, it's just, like, all part of the whole, like, transition. Like, a lot of people don't have, like, a private bathroom in their dorm. Like, it's usually communal bathrooms. Like, that's one of the reasons why I even wanted to live in Davis, because I was like, I just want, like, the full experience. So I probably would have stayed with my decisions.
I would say that like freshmen like should have to like stay on campus. It's just like part of the experience.
It's college.
But I definitely would have moved off campus sophomore year
Sophomore year.
if I could have.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm just finding it funny that after all the sort of complaints and issues, the consensus is they should have to stay there.
Yeah.
It's part of it.
It's part.
It's like a
The
punch.
suffering is like part of the experience, and because you suffer, you get like you bond with more people
Okay.
because of
It
it.
builds a sense of community, the
Yeah.
suffering, the collective
Okay.
suffering.
I
We're all
like-
related
I
at
like
least
that
one
take
form.
on it very much. Okay, that is a very interesting. I like that take quite a lot. I think we sort of went over this question, so I'm just going to skip over. Essentially, the question was, do you feel like you have viable options through Stevens when issues arise with housing? And I feel as though the answer from everyone is no.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone ever had any good experience with Res Life? Ever?
Yes. No, 5 days ago. Last Wednesday.
When your paycheck comes.
Whatever. Yeah, I mean, I walked in and my problem was solved in like 20 minutes, and it was great. The guy was super nice, but like other than that, not really.
Is this an outlier?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, buddy.
Once I got locked out of my room after taking a shower, and they made me walk all the way down to the Res Life office for somebody to open up my door, and I was in just a towel, and I was like, "Can someone just come up because like I am only in a towel?" And they were like, "No, you have to come downstairs," and I was like, "Okay." So like I just from that like I think Res Life sucks.
Actually, last year in River, we were taking the elevator up to our room. So you had like the cart, so you swiped into the apartment, and the power went out. A transformer blew, so we could not get in and out of our apartment building because the power was out. There's no physical key, so like as
and
much
our
as like
RA wasn't there.
yeah, so we got stuck in the other apartment like across from us, and like they were nice and they were there, so like we were able to like hang out, but otherwise like we wouldn't even been able to swipe into River. Like it was
So
ridiculous.
speaking of sense of community, thankfully you
Yes.
have one. But okay, so it seems the general consensus is negative. I can't say we didn't expect this coming in, but this definitely I think opens a lot of avenues for us to sort of augment our questionnaire when we finish it up and make sure that it covers areas ranging from sense of community and what should happen based on what year you are and what living is best or what factors are best or most important. So I think we're sort of running out of time here. I think it's almost been 25 minutes. So I think the last question, really easy, just a raise of hands. If you like Stevens housing better, if you like, let's just say on-campus housing, not frat or not included, better than where you are now. Flip the question. So like, is on-campus housing worse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that just everyone saying? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your time. We realize this was sort of to put a burden on you. I realize 20 minutes out of everyone's day is annoying.
Yes, we appreciate
But thank
it.
you so much for it. So if we could just end the recording, and we'll call it a night.
I think this is the best.